In other news now, former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, may be spending a second night in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Mr. El-Rufai was detained after he honored the commission's invitation yesterday. Also on Monday, the Department of State Services filed a 3-count of alleged cybercrime against the former governor. But while more groups in Kaduna State are now demanding a probe of Nasir El-Rufai over alleged rights abuses, forced demolitions, mass sackings, and financial misconduct. They say he must submit to an open investigation and be held accountable if found culpable. Lupe Assam has more.
Fresh demands are mounting for a full-scale investigation into the tenure of former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Residents who say they were directly affected argue that a transparent probe will either clear his name or confirm alleged wrongdoings. They accuse his administration of actions they say worsen poverty and social exclusion across the state. Some community leaders also allege that El-Rufai's policies disrupted long-standing peaceful coexistence.
The former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, did. A lot of people died as a result of those things. There are teachers who were sacked, terminated, dismissed in Kaduna State without paying them their total minimum and salaries. He should come and answer. If he's not found guilty, he will go back. And if he's found guilty, he should bring to books.
Others are calling for a comprehensive review of security operations and administrative decisions under El-Rufai, citing unresolved cases of violence and displacement.
He came with a purely ethno-religious agenda, which he later on, at the end of his own administration, publicly admitted that that is what he came to do. And he was able to do it in Kaduna State, and that he has promised that this thing will continue for the next 20 years, not just in Kaduna State, but even at the national level. And I believe one of the reasons why he has fallen out with the present government is because they are not agreeing to do exactly what he wants to be done as far as his own ethno-religious agenda is concerned. And so Southern Kaduna suffered a lot during El-Rufai, and what we are calling for now is that there should be a proper investigation, an inquiry into the kind of injustices that occurred during the reign of El-Rufai.
Groups are now urging affected communities to unite under a common platform to pursue accountability. Lupe Assam, TVC News, Kaduna.
Dio Misamari is former acting president, Southern Kaduna People's Union. He joins me on the news at 7. Now, you have referenced the scrapping of the Adara chiefdom and also the subsequent killing of the traditional ruler. Can you outline for us the established facts surrounding those events? What aspects you believe remain unresolved or require independent review?
Thank you, presenter. Good evening, Nigerians. It's quite a privilege to have an opportunity to speak out on this very fundamental matter to my own immediate community, and that is the Adara community. As far as the issue of the scrapping of Adara chiefdom is concerned, this is a matter that is very, very, of utmost importance to my people, because since independence, as far as we are concerned, this is the best thing that the Nigerian government has ever done to recognize our existence as a community. The creation of Adara chiefdom, which later became a first-class chiefdom because of its size and the population of our people, is a recognition which we cherish so much. Only for us to wake up one day, just after two administrations, for the former governor to do what he did, scrapping the chiefdom and even passing a law to legalize it. We feel that that was the most serious injustice that was ever done to our community. And this was actually not limited to our own community. The so-called traditional institutions law that was passed during his administration, I think in 2021, was a law that affected most, if not all, chiefdoms that are not emirates. In fact, he converted some that were emirates, rather chiefdoms, into emirates, all because of his, self-declared, ambition to pursue an agenda the way he has made it public to everybody. And so we feel that this matter is not something that should just be ignored. In fact, the Governor El-Rufai's administration can be likened to the apartheid regime that reigned in South Africa.
Huge allegations that you're making there. Just a minute, because we are following very closely some of these developments. You know, there are claims, for instance, of forced demolitions, dismissals from public service, and displacement of vulnerable groups, including yours. But from your perspective, were these policy decisions, could these have been policy decisions that had unintended consequences? Or do you believe they constituted some form of deliberate rights violations?
It is clearly deliberate because he admitted it. He is, you know, he can be quoted. The tapes are there. You know, the internet does not forget.
What exactly are you seeking now at this stage? A judicial commission of inquiry, criminal prosecution? Is it compensation or reconciliation? How do you ensure that any investigation is also credible and not partisan?
Well, it is left for us, if we are serious as a nation, to get things right, at least for once. Then we must make sure that the right thing is done. It's not going to be another circus. I remember that even during his own reign, when things were still very hot, he actually, you know, ordered that a commission of inquiry should be carried out concerning the happenings in Kajuru and Chikun local government. But at the end of the day, it was you know, a circus. Nothing came out of it. So I believe that if you have a government that is serious about putting things right in this country, of course, we all know that Nigeria is now a laughing stock. We are known to be one of the countries that was, you know, always ready to go to other countries to, you know, ensure that there was peace and enforce peace and, you know, bring about, all that was needed to create a very, very conducive, national environment for people to thrive. Only for us to find ourselves in a situation whereby we cannot help ourselves. Nobody could have imagined that this will happen to us. So I believe that we have the capacity, and in fact, we even have the political will. We used to say that there is no political will. I don't agree that we don't have political will any longer, because those in power have the will to do what they feel they consider important to them. But when it comes to something that is so important and so dear to citizens, certainly it is claimed that there is no political will. No, I don't believe. It's just that they don't have the right priorities. Like Governor El-Rufai during his time, there was nothing that he ever wished to do that he did not do. He did exactly what he did, regardless of whose earth is God.
Good place to live in. Good place to live in. Former acting president, Southern Kaduna People's Union, dear Mr. Mari, thank you so much for talking to us on the News at 7.
Thank you very much.
You're watching TV News at 7. Up